Jr.'s era? Or will it be Terrence "Bud" Crawford? That favors Spence. Back comes Crawford with the jab. Down goes Spence. How quickly that changes. 5, 6, 7. And now Spence trying to whack Crawford. Going to the body. Here we go. It's what we thought. They are going to start to go toe-to-toe. And there's a big left by Crawford. Backing up Spence. And digging to the body. Spence is hurt. Spence is hurt. So Floyd might be able to tell us he's stumbling and he hasn't been hit. And that's up after this fight because he's from a litany of angles. And here comes Spence, though, as Crawford. And down goes Spence for the second time in the fight. And Spence is hurt. The 7th. A big shot. Down goes Spence for the 3rd time in the fight at the end of the 7th. Crawford is just a special fighter. All right, hook upstairs, and Crawford has Spence hurt again. All right, hook that wobbles him. Spence might be going down.
Career, a win over Emmanuel Lardy in October of 2013, and an 8th.
I mean, I thought he was going to start boxing, but he's doing a fine job right now of
just one of a kind in terms of what he's been able to accomplish in his career. Crawford, the ability to make the adjustments.
Yeah. The other key thing here is early round.
Spence used to fast start, high output. Crawford, yes, like
it's the Spence jab that's doing the effect right now, or is having the effect.
Crawford, the jab, the shot to the body. There's a counter. Ring welterweight title and become the only man, much more so than Crawford.
17 combination punches per.
Go Spence, the jab again, starting off. Let's see if he lets his hands go a lot more.
Double jab, good combination there.
Those shots from Crawford.
Left curls behind the guard of Crawford, and then
it's brilliant. I mean, doesn't do too much. Left. And the person right there.
The epitome of a text. And just explosive jab to the head and the butt. And combination that drops.
Was able to land that straight left.
Yeah, Spence kind of overreached there with that, and Crawford saw the opportunity.
For 3. And Spence.
And I know have a second round knockdown with the
hand left that landed on
another one, and now Spence going to the body from the guard. There's a jab from Crawford to get back into this fight after hitting. Midway point of the 3rd by Spence. Quick combination.
And getting used to fighting against the lefty.
Beautiful combination there by Crawford. Oh, and again, that right hand, the speed, sharp, accurate jab from Terrence "Bud" Crawford.
Looking at him, that's why he's hitting you. You're waiting on the entry. He don't get careless because he don't come.
Spence, trained by former pro middleweight and light heavyweight Derek James. Mega fight back in 2015. Both in attendance here tonight.
So that he started off really good with the jab. Double, triple jab.
And that difference in hand speed on display, the accuracy.
He's been superb in this fight. And he's picked his spots and
the footwork from Crawford in the openings.
The left hand, and he's able to just
advice given to Spence.
Oh my goodness, a left hand that Rowdy and Terrence Crawford. Double jab, left hand.
Exactly.
Even the jab is a power.
The jab is.
And the advice given to Spence, you know, he's not turning, he's not
chip on his shoulder. He'll find critics, but none exist just to get that. And he continues to jolt Errol Spence. Terrence "Bud" Crawford, who has already knocked down Errol.
An excellent round. The jab so effectively. Spence gets on the inside using a variety of punches, including the uppercut. Later in the round, a lead left hand that lands.
You see the left hand. Get about that and swing your feet. Hit it, hit it, hit it.
And meanwhile, the countering line.
Yeah.
It's astonishing that he's been able to be this effective. He's got to land something that makes a difference. Do that.
He looks
pressure enough to get Crawford off that.
Met with highly effective count.
He's using every time Spence steps in. There's Crawford taking the side.
With just over a minute left in the fifth, he's landing a lot more.
Terrence Crawford.
He eats it and continues.
It would have. Using the jab very effectively.
And he really hit me with a jab, a lot of jab. I think you did right in the middle. Use your legs to step around him, okay? Don't jump.
Terrence Crawford is a freak athlete. Spence now backing up, and we don't normally see Errol Spence backing up. Crawford avoiding the brunt of the body blows when he was fighting in school, and he started practicing more in his life.
Yeah, he's got to get inside. He can't reach.
Oh, my goodness.
You know who talked about that with Sean Porter? He said that when he would take it away, and it seems like he's doing that against Spence.
It's made Terrence Crawford feel uncomfortable. I think Errol Spence is beginning to. Spence trying, coming back, going to the body, but then gets clutched.
The place he has to really work.
Double jab. Point of this chance. Bud Crawford looking to make history. Left uppercut in the end.
Now here's where Spence was working downstairs, trying to get something offensive happen, and in that last round, initiating the offense with that shotgun jab, and Morrow made the counter as Spence moves.
Make sure you got room on that.
Crawford avoiding him. To the face of Spence by Crawford, and Crawford's accuracy.
I mean, counter punching.
Walk over here. To Terrence Bud Crawford, making it look way too
finisher.
The accuracy, the punish.
He lands a good punch. It's not hurting Crawford.
Accuracy is power. The accuracy
moving forward behind body work. He has been.
Spence coming forward, and he gets countered with as beautiful a right up. Right is usually the one that lands and that counter right uppercut
from Crawford is just phenomenal. I mean, that right hook.
The accomplishments of both fighters, both coming in undefeated.
Spence.
And now Spence is in a posture, boxing move, can't come forward to apply pressure and hope for one big shot.
Ability to deliver punch after punch that lands. All 58% of his power shot as the fourth. That jab continues to pop. Spence's head back to
Crawford himself landing. Oh my.
Counter right hand. Left by Spence. But he continues to get
by Crawford.
And those punches caught by.
He's not used to backing up against the ropes, trying to move, and you get the feeling.
Stay focused. One at a time.
James trying to do anything.
Up again, the pressure being put on.
He's got to make sense of this fight.
Intriguing thing is Crawford, who loves to counter appropriately, moving forward and initiating the offense. Face Terrence Crawford has ended up going the distance.
Errol Spence. And again, being hit by the jab is incredible.
This fight is
desperately trying to land something of consequence. Meanwhile, the left, the right, Errol Spence on inline skates. A man, yes. Naoya in a way looks sensational going into it. What Errol Spence represented. Terrence donned the gloves.
I mean, the way he dismantled him.
You're a hell of a fighter. You already know that. I don't even gotta tell you that. You already know.
That would be talked about for generations to come. Terrence Crawford.
% throughout the fight, he finally got there in terms of his power punches. And here's the other fascinating thing. While an astonishing performance, and those numbers bear it out.
Was a one-sided drubbing for Terrence Crawford.
Spence was attacking, and even badly. And then Crawford, the extraordinary, ripping with it. And the right hook was just such an important weapon in this fight. And there's
footwork. Look at how the space that he's creating to land.
Crawford becomes the first one with a bullet. Unbelievable performance. Jr.
is still undefeated, and now the
Junior here to give opening comments. Errol, he's joined by his trainer, Derek James.
Hello, how's it going? A little off night. The better man won tonight. Not here to make any excuses. Definitely did his thing. My time was off, and I couldn't capitalize on a couple of things, and his time was a lot better than mine tonight.
Turn it over to the media for questions for Errol Spence Jr. Raise your hand and wait until you get the microphone.
Right back here.
Hey, Errol. Andreas here from the Sporting News. Errol, how was the weight cut for this fight? And I wanted to follow that with a second question. If the rematch had to be at 47, I know you said you want to be there again. Are you willing to do this rematch back at welterweight?
It's something I got to talk to my management about, but hopefully it's at 154.
How was this particular weight cut? Was it a very difficult one, or did you feel at ease with the weight cut?
I mean, it's always difficult, but, like I said, I don't make any excuses. The better man won tonight.
One last question. What about Terrence surprised you the most? Was it his timing, his power? What surprised you?
Nothing really surprised me. He was just like I thought. It's just my timing wasn't good today.
Questions for Errol Spence Jr.?
Hey, Errol, Keith Heideck from BoxingScene.com. What do you attribute your timing not being there to? Did you feel off physically or anything, or what was wrong in the fight?
Yeah, I felt a little off physically, but most times I get through it. So, I thought it was going to be just like the other times, but, I couldn't kick it up a notch.
Errol, Sam Gordon here with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. How would you contextualize or describe Terrence's power, and when did you really get a feel for it for the first time tonight?
I got a feel for his power, probably like first, second round. He's a strong dude, but, everybody at this top level have some type of power. But I think because my time was out, he was catching me in between shots.
Errol, Kevin Iole from Yahoo Sports. My question would be, your face was swelling up really badly. Were you having difficulty seeing as the fight progressed?
No, I wasn't having difficulty seeing it at all.
I'm sorry.
I said no, I didn't have difficulty seeing it at all.
Okay. And then lastly, did you feel when the fight started, did you feel good, or did you feel like it was, maybe one of those nights?
I felt cool. I thought, I could definitely do enough to win the fight, but I felt good. And like I said, I'm not here to make any excuses. I'm a grown man. I decided to agree to the weight and get down to it, and that's what I did. So take no excuses. Hats off to the champion tonight.
All right. Errol, straight back. Dan Rayfield from Big Fight Weekend. I wanted to know, I know it's only a few minutes removed from the end of the fight. How do you think you're going to deal with this going forward, tomorrow, next week? Are you the kind of guy that's going to just bad night, shake it off, and all is good, or are you going to, stew over this for a while and it's going to hurt bad?
Nah, I'm not going to stew over it at all. I did what I was supposed to do, regardless of the outcome or anything like that. Like I said, I was going to do something, and I promised everybody I was going to do it. So I did it as a man. I stood up on my word, so I'm definitely not going to sulk over this. I'm going to get right back and get to it, hopefully at 154 pounds.
And Errol, even though, we know how big of a fight this was. Everybody talked about the historical significance of this fight all through the build-up, all for the last several years as we waited for it to happen. I wonder, it's happened. You go on the losing side of this one. Does it at least give you some solace to know that you gave the boxing public something that they had wanted for so long, even though obviously it didn't go your way?
Definitely. It was exciting, the whole build up to it and leading up to it too. So it's something that I wouldn't change for nothing. And I'm definitely open to the rematch, and hopefully it'll be at 154 pounds.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Morgan Campbell from the New York Times. This question is for Derek or for Errol. Once Bud won a couple rounds and he started to get the momentum, what types of tactical adjustments did you guys want to be able to make?
So just really kind of like do our best to take away what he was doing instead of kind of standing in front of him. But I think that Errol, like you can notice, well, I can notice his time was off really bad, and he was standing in front of him. So I think that that's kind of was the thing. It was just the timing. Reaction time was a little slower. But it's okay. It's like life, and you come back, you deal with it, and you get better.
Hi, Errol. Dan Matthews from the Daily Mail. I just wondered what you saw in the performance tonight that gives you confidence that in a rematch at 154 pounds that the result would be any different.
Who are you talking to?
Errol.
Say it again.
I just wondered what aspects of the performance tonight give you confidence that you could change the result even at 154.
Because I know I'm a lot better than what I showed tonight, and I know that a lot of things was off with me, and even though Terrence Crawford did what he was supposed to do, he was sharp and he was on point, and he made sure he was 100% ready in this fight.
Andrew Jones, ESPN and Anscape. First for Errol, I want to ask you, what did Derek James say to you in terms of supporting you after the fight and how loyal he's been to you? And is this officially your last fight at 147 in your mind?
Yeah, in my mind, it's my last fight at 147 pounds. So, hopefully the next one be at 154. But Derek, just told me that, keep my head up. I was off and, trying to console me like he's supposed to.
And Derek, just in terms of you consoling him and how you feel about this, what's been going to be your process over the next few days to be able to move on and then just go back to the drawing board on it?
Well, I think that in watching it, I had time to understand what was going on. From the first, second round, I kind of saw what was happening, and you kind of like understand, okay, maybe eventually maybe he can catch one with a good shot, maybe he can recover, but it didn't work that way, and it's okay. I mean, it's life. Unfortunate. This is what happens in big-time boxing. Somebody was going to have to be in this situation. Unfortunately, it was us, and we'll got to move on. I mean, I had to fly to London tomorrow, so I'm gonna hold on this for a long time. May not ever get over it till after we revenge it, but it's just what it is. I mean, it's life, and you just got to keep it moving. You got to deal with it, embrace it, and move on.
Got two more questions for Errol Spence Jr., two more.
Marcus Hayes, Fight Hub TV. This question is for Derek James first. Coach Derek, I want to ask you, we haven't seen Errol take as much punishment as he did tonight. Was there ever a point where you thought about stepping in and stopping the bout?
I just wanted to make sure he was okay, right? I saw him get hit with the big shots, but I think that you can see, for me, I see his legs was a little off, but I really wasn't, but then you think about it, the doctor's right there with me, and we're talking back and forth. And they're looking at him, and I'm looking at the doctors, and we're talking. So it's like, not really, but you just never know.
And Errol, we saw you go down a couple of times. When you felt Terrence's power, particularly in the second knockdown, when you got up, what was going through your mind at that time?
Shit, just fight back. I mean, what you mean was going through my mind at the time? It's a boxing match, so, I was trying to block the shots he was throwing and come back with shots. But, I mean, nothing really was going through my mind. It was just, the same stuff.
Last question.
Cameron Buford, LA News Observer. Errol Spence, would you talk to us about what Terrence Crawford said to you after the fight?
You just asked me that. But he just said, good fight, much respect, and that's about it.
All right, we will allow Errol Spence Jr. to depart. And you know what? Tonight we saw the two best welterweights on the planet colliding. And I give respect to both men because they went ahead and put it all on the line. A round of applause to both Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. for providing us an unbelievable night of boxing here in Las Vegas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I want to bring up, he is the first male boxer to be undisputed champion in 2 divisions. For the first time in the 4-belt era, there is an undisputed welterweight champion of the world. This man, 40 wins, no losses. He remains undefeated here tonight. The best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Omaha, Nebraska, we present to you Terrence Bud Crawford, ladies and gentlemen. Terrence, as we are literally moments removed from your mesmerizing performance, what does this mean for you? I mean,